Alright, so this was all over the internet last night, and let me start this off by saying right away, there is holding on every given play, right? At the end of the day, if you slow down a video, you slow down a clip of any given play, every single time there's holding, right? And I think one of the refs I heard before said that you could call holding on every single play if you wanted to. It could be holding, 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 right? And so usually when there's people yelling about holding calls or screaming out holding calls, I'm like, "Hey, come on now. Let's chillax. Let's calm down. You know, this happens on every given play. It's not like it's something new, okay?" But then there's plays like this, and you kind of really understand the situation. It's 6 minutes ago in this game. It's third and 22. The Jets should not be in this game, according to the media. And everybody wants the Chiefs to win, right? I mean, I think everyone wants obviously, the Jets to win, but the NFL and the referees, everyone wants the Chiefs to win because, listen, that's Roger Goodell's team. And this is when things get a little bit, questionable. So, third and 22, they do get a huge run here for a first down, which, ironically enough, they actually do call holding on who? The New York Jets. They call holding on New York Jets on this run play because I think it actually was a little bit of a hold, not like much. It was a questionable, tacky call. But this is where things is not called. Right here. Look at number 11. Watch number 11 here. I mean, like I said, there's holding on every single play if you slow it down. And then there's this crap. And this is not new, okay? It's funny because the NFL world is like freaking out about this. And, if you go back in the day, right, for what? I think 10 years, the New England Patriots, they were always getting these type of calls. When Tom was on that team, this would be an everyday type of scenario. Every single NFL fan remembers all those Patriot games where they would get these calls nonstop and it would never stop, right? And now Tom's going, it's Patrick. He's getting these calls now. And that's exactly what's happening here. So again, like I said, is this holding? Absolutely yes. Is this holding 100% yes? And at the end of the day, they call holding on the defense, which is still outrageous, but it is what it is. It's a very tacky call to call on the defense because the guy, like, he grabbed him, but he barely touched him and he barely moved him, and that was hold. But this right here is not a holding call. Like, it's yeah, it's again like I said, one of the situations where it's like there is holding on every given play. So I try my best not to overreact, not to go crazy on when there's not a holding call thrown, right? Because it's like, come on, man, it's every single play there's a holding call. I mean, like you could call it every single play, but then there's stuff that kind of like is outrageous, and this is outrageous. Come on, man, like I understand. Like again, here's how I look at it, right? At this moment in time, Patrick goes over to the right hand side. His job here is to get off this guy and hit Patrick. He's going to get off this guy and hit Patrick right here. This guy right here is holding his shoulder pads like this, holding his jersey, not letting him get away. You can't do that. You can block a guy, okay? I played offensive lineman in high school. I played right guard. I'm not trying to say I'm in any way an NFL player, okay? I'm not. But there are situations where even I've been called for hold for a lot less than this, right? And that's a high school football game, not even an NFL football game. And when you're engaged with the guy, right, they always teach you get underneath the guy's shoulder pads, right? Because then you can kind of move him. If I get underneath your shoulder pads, I can move you left and right as I go around, right? At this point, especially at this point in the play, you gotta just let the guy go. I know you don't want him to hit your quarterback. You don't. But you could try to maneuver him, try to push him. But when you get to a point where you're holding him in place so he can't move, that's a holding call 99% of the time. And it should be called. And listen, in this type of situation, 23-20, 6 minutes to go in the game. It's 3rd and 22. The Jets are getting a stop here. And then they give up this huge run because of this stupid holding call. The NFL looks like crap for this type of stuff, right? And then you call a holding call. It's a ticky-tacky holding call on the other team. And it's just, this is what ruins the NFL product, I feel like, in general. Like, when I was watching this game last night, after this play, I turned it off. And I said, I'm not going to watch this crap no more. Because it really comes down, I think a lot of people did that, and it comes down to, when you watch football, you want to see a very good football game, right? You want to see a very crazy play happen. You want to see a very back and forth, really good game. And, the Jets, we always talk about how, okay, they're in prime time. This is going to suck because Aaron Rodgers is out, so they're not going to be good this year, right? They're going to be awful. So hopefully they flex all these prime time games. Instead, the Jets played this game very well. They did everything they could to potentially win this game. And when stuff like this happens, it's just disgusting. Because, listen, if this was not the hold right here, this was not happening, this would be probably one of the best plays of this year, right? Well, I say one of the best plays, but it would be a top 10 player this year, right? And I would have still watched the rest of the game and been like, wow, that's crazy. But when you have a thing where, again, they called on a ticky-tacky call on the Jets, then they call this hold, they don't call this hold right here, it gets to a point where you're like, well, that's not even fun to watch. Because you literally did not even call someone cheating on the play that let this game continue. The Jets should have got the ball back here after this. So it's like, I understand the perspective, again, that there's holding on every single play. But at some point, you gotta call that. You gotta. And it really comes down to one simple thing is, for the NFL product, you can't miss calls like that. And we have seen that so much in history. I mean, look back to the Rams. The Rams literally went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots when you could tell they were not qualified to go to the Super Bowl versus the Patriots. They went to the Super Bowl because of the fact that Nickel Roby Coleman literally smashed a guy on the field. Sounds wrong. But he did pass interference on a guy at the very end of the game so the guy wouldn't catch the ball. Clearly pass interference. The refs don't call it. He even comes out later and says he did it on purpose and thought he was going to get a PI call just so that the guy wouldn't get a touchdown. And nothing's called, and the Saints don't go to the Super Bowl. The Rams do, and the Rams get destroyed. Well, not destroyed. They actually, I say destroyed in the fact they didn't score much points at all in that game. But still, though, it's like that ruins the NFL product. And a lot of people going to that Super Bowl, they weren't excited for the Super Bowl. They weren't ready for the Super Bowl because it's like, why am I watching the Super Bowl where one team only got there because the refs didn't call a penalty? And again, you go back to all these games. Steelers, Patriots, their tight end caught a touchdown, but then they said it was an incomplete pass, and it's like, that was questionable. There's so many questionable things that it ruins the NFL product at the end of the day. At the end of the day, listen, I am a Bengals fan, okay? And I don't like the Chiefs. But I'm not going to sit here and say that this is quote-unquote, like, I hate this because the Chiefs got it. I would hate this if the Jets got this against the Chiefs. I really would. If the Jets did the same thing against the Chiefs, I would be sitting here saying, that's a holding call, you got to call that. It doesn't matter what team it is and who didn't get the call. At the end of the day, this ruins the NFL product. It does. Because, again, this is a pivotal play that changed the outcome of this game. And that right there is changing the outcome. The refs should, again, if a player's cheating, the refs should actually call the correct call. I don't care who the team is, who the play is. I don't care. It's not right. Right? That's how football is. It's not about who you like, who you want to win, who you don't want to win. It's about what's right for the game and what should and shouldn't be called. That is something that should have been called 99.9% of the time. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.